I was popping everybody. Welcome to another video, another trade recap. Now y'all probably like, what are you talking about? Another trade recap? What do you? I ended up taking two more trades in the PM session, and I'm going to break them both down for you guys so y'all can see what I did right, what I did wrong, and all that. Now I think I managed everything in the PM session honestly perfectly. I don't think that I would have changed anything, and I actually ended up avoiding a loss. I avoided a loss, and I also avoided a break even, which I'm gonna tell you all about. So, firstly, coming into the PM session, I recognized we had this unfilled 15-minute gap resting right here beneath us, and we also had this 5-minute get closed through with a change in the state. This is where I entered my first short position. What am I talking about? I entered my first short right here. With lower size, really only looking for like a 1-to-1. Because to me, everything checks off. 5-minute change in the state, inversion. We already inversed the first gap. We just took all-time highs as well. We have an unfilled 15-minute gap right beneath us that is yet to be mitigated. So I wanted to see that as my target, and ES ended up taking it without NQ doing that. So from there, let's see if I can go back to it. As y'all can see, ES ended up taking that gap and having a very strong reaction. So from there, I went break even. Once I seen ES take the low, I went break even straight off of that, just because it's more likely for me to get stopped out, and I wanted to save myself from any type of unnecessary loss, which ended up being the right thing to do. Saved me a lot of money. As you can see, I would have easily got stopped out on this, and then the second trade I ended up taking. So from here, I recognize we had the 5-minute change in state, plus we opened up on the 5-minute imbalance. Now my first initial trade opportunity could have came within here. Once we got this 15-second gap with the change in state out of the 5-minute, this is usually like my favorite type of setup. However, we had this 5-minute gap resting above us, and if y'all know anything about how price action has been recently, it has not been the best. We have not been really pumping how we should. We have not been displacing how I would want us to. So oftentimes we're not going to get, the largest moves. Like price will take some type of internal form of liquidity and then instantly reverse. Like we're not going to just have a super big move oftentimes. So I really wanted to wait because we did have this resting bearish BPR above us. I wanted to see whether or not this was going to be disrespected, and that is when I took my first position, which came right here. My first long came right here, and the reason for entering this long, the SMT held, the 5-minute inversion plus change in the state also was respected, and we had PM session highs resting above us. And for ES, this was actually an equal high. Let me show y'all right quick. Well, yeah, it was equal highs right here for ES. Very strong target, very good target with a very good entry point. And I think going forward, I'm going to try to focus more so on just the higher time frame and stop being so hyper fixated on like the 15-second, 30-second. I really want to start focusing mainly on just the 5, 15-minute, 3-minute. I think that'll help me avoid a lot of losses, and also just preserving capital is one of the main things, especially within the times that we're in right now within the market. So yeah, I think this is going to help me preserve a lot of capital, just try to stay on the higher time frames and only zoom in when it's necessary. That's probably going to be my main thing. So this was my entry point. Now this trade, I almost went break even. I almost got stopped at break even a few times. I'm going to tell y'all why. So once we got, we had, this is what we did. We tapped consequent encroachment. We tapped consequent encroachment of this 5-minute gap we're going to here. So once we did this, I was I was like debating, like, damn, do I go break even? Because we tapped the gap. We had already, got a V-shaped recovery. I did not want to see us come back down to my entry point, but I'm like, will my trade be invalid if I go break even? And to me, it's like, no, because overall order flow still is bullish. We closed above the 15-minute. We closed through the 15-minute. We got a 15-minute body close above that most previous high. So I'm like, okay, we still have a very strong opportunity to go higher. So from here, what I actually did was I recognized we had this 7-minute imbalance. So I moved my stop loss 7-minute body low. Instead of going break even, which I initially would have done, moved my stop loss to that 7-minute body low, and I didn't actually tighten my risk until I recognized this SMT. Once I seen the SMT, I really wanted to see that play out and hold us. And then this is where I actually went break even at. Once we got this initial displacement, this is where I then moved my stop loss to break even because I figured we were good. And we were. Had a very strong move from here. I want to say Powell stepped on to speak around this time, or at least he was supposed to. Well, let's refresh to see if he actually did. Yeah, so that's when they came on and ended up sending us right to our target. So very good. Happy that I did not go break even here. Now the reason I was so hesitant about this and why usually I would was that I've been finding myself going break even too early. A lot of times I'll go break even and then price will still end up running to my target. So then it's man, I'm stopped out early. I just missed out on an opportunity just because I was being too scared with my risk. I wasn't, willing to let the trade play out, willing to let the trade work for me. I'm sometimes too quick to go break even. And yes, we did tap a bearish PD array, a bearish mitigation block where price is oftentimes very likely to reject and then dump from. But to me, it's we already put in the higher time from SMT. Price has no reason to really fill back lower. Plus, we're trading all-time highs right now. I feel like this is just going to be some sort of rebalance. I recognize the 7-minute I traded back into. We put in an SMT, so I'm okay, I'm going to hold this. I'm going to trust it and just see what it does. And thankfully, it worked out. So we ended up making our losses back from the day, which is very good. I'm very happy about that. And yeah, that is it. I don't think I have nothing else to say. So yeah, I appreciate you for watching. I know it's late. If you are watching this around the nighttime when I'm uploading it, I appreciate you for being one of the early loyal supporters. So yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all have a great night. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace out.